Nicole Everett here with Conversations with Nicole. Today we are at the Gaither House, a historic spot. I'm here with Professor Roosevelt Wilson, the creator of the biography of Gaither, Agile, Mobile, and Hostile. This book is the biography of Gaither, and it tells about his legend, his legacy. So, Professor Wilson, tell me, you had a relationship with Coach Gaither, and you started at FAMU in sports information as director, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time is when you met Coach Gaither, and what was your impression of him at the time?
Well, when I met him, I had heard he was a legend already, but I was kind of surprised because he wasn't intimidating as I thought he would be. You hear, talk about him in all kinds of ways, but he was very gentle, and I didn't feel intimidated after I left the interview with him.
Okay, good. Now the title of the book here is Agile, Mobile, and Hostile. Where did that title come from?
That's a title. Those are qualities he wants in his football players. You have to read the book to get the whole understanding of it, but he wants his players to be fast, to think on their feet, to be able to change directions, like he said, on a dime. But when you go beyond that, these are qualities that he wanted to teach his young players in life. And so he would talk about he wanted his players to be agile, mobile, and hostile, and those are his emphasis on those syllables. It was more than just these qualities. In terms of he wanted a football player, but these are qualities he wanted in the young men that he coached.
So what do you think about the young men that he coached? He was trying to develop leaders, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And he produced leaders. And one of the things I don't talk about in the book, I don't think, is that he had a system where, of course, we had integration during his heyday, if you will.
Yes.
But he had a system so that basically every top coach at a historically black college, high school, was a graduate of FAMU.
Oh, wow.
So he basically had his pick. They talk about these 4 and 5 star students. Jake had his pick of those groups because all of the coaches were the players that he had coached. Wow. And they would tell the other coaches, okay, you want to come in, we got some players we want you to talk with. But they would never show the ones that they wanted to send to Coach Gaither.
Wow, that was quite a good little setup then, huh?
Yes.
Yes. You were a friend of his, and I understand that this book, there was another writing that took place by another author, but Coach Gaither was not pleased with that book.
No, that's one of the incentives for my writing this one, because I saw it. He literally came to tears when he saw it. This guy wrote as a football coach in terms of how a coach prepares players and talked about strategies and things like that. But it had very little about Jake Gaither, the man.
I see.
And it showed more of a tactician. It didn't give him credit for all the work he did during the civil rights movement. In fact, it was critical of him. It hurt him. And I know the person he was. And so, one day I just said, well, somebody needs to do this thing the right way. And I looked around, there was nobody else in the mirror,
Well, I think you chose a good person to tell this story.
Yeah.
No better person than the person in the mirror, especially one that has a firsthand account on his life and his history and his legacy. So we want to thank you for that.
Sure, thank you.
Can you shed some light on something that folks may not know that's contained in this book?
One of the things that two of the editors, including the one that pressured me to finish this project, stood out to them was a chapter on his life where Coach Gaither almost died from brain surgery. He had a huge tumor. They didn't know what was wrong with him. He was in the hospital in Tallahassee, Nashville. He went all over, and the doctors finally found it, and he didn't have any money. They did it gratis, and and he still went back to coaching against the doctor's orders.
Oh my goodness!
And his wife, as my mom used to say, had a hissy fit when she heard he was out on the football field. But the man was meant to be a coach, a leader of men.
Evidently.
So that's what he wound up doing. But he had a terrible, it was an awful time. I mean, the pain, the agony that I captured from his own words. I recorded this. And so much of that whole chapter is called Too Tough to Die. And most of it is based on direct quotes from him, his own story.
Wow. And
he really, really went through some things, and he didn't know where he was a lot of times. You can see why he's a tough character.
Yes.
Because he was tough as a person, period.
Absolutely.
But he hung in there. He's very, very religious. And he believed in God and believed in helping his fellow man. And so he hung in there. There are other, obviously I did a whole book on him, but there are other things too that he went through that he had to deal with, situations dealing with politics.
What type of political things did he have to go through?
Well, first of all, integrating collegiate football in the South. He was the primary instigator of that. There's a chapter in there in the book on the game that FAMU played against Tampa, University of Tampa, which is historically white.
Right.
FAMU is historically black. When it was the first meeting, it had been built up tremendously. I mean, really, really tremendously. Something like Florida State game.
Okay.
Florida State, Miami, or whatever. Just huge, but it was because of the racial element. And there was an argument, or maybe I should say a discussion, among blacks and whites who's saying that blacks couldn't play football on a level as sophisticated as whites. And although FAMU had talent, they didn't think that Jake could outcoach Fran Kersey, who was the coach of the University of Tampa.
I see.
And Tampa was ranked number 8, I think, in the nation. I think FAMU was 16th or something like that. And but Jake won the game, beat him. I mean, it was close.
Wow.
Think about it.
Wow.
It was the stadium, Tampa Stadium was packed.
I bet it was.
And it was an interesting comment one reporter made. He said there was one fight at that game between two white guys.
Oh my gosh.
So people, Jake had a lot to do by downplaying it, not making it a racial thing, but at the same time, in the locker room behind closed doors telling his guys, they don't think we can play that football. We'll show them, right?
Right.
And
How agile, mobile, and hostile we are, right?
yeah.
Goodness. Well, what do you hope people gain from this book?
The truth.
The truth.
That's all I think any writer of nonfiction seeks is the truth. And that's what I want to do, is take the fiction out of the Gaither story and replace it with the truth.
Okay. You had some help with this, putting this book together, correct?
No, well, mechanically, yes.
Mechanically, yes.
But I did all the interviewing,
Okay.
Research. I did all of that,
Uh-huh.
and transcribed the tapes and everything. I did all that. But
Okay.
Janella Gordon was a former student of mine who discovered this
lost manuscript and brought it to life.
And she said, why are you sitting on this? Because it was good enough for the guy from the New York Times to use. And in one of his books, several others had borrowed some of my work on Coach Gaither. So she said, you let everybody have it but the publisher.
That's right. And the publisher needs to have it.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so glad that you put this work together. You had Ms. Gordon helping you out with this. We're going to put the information on our screen so people can know where to go to purchase a copy.
Oh, thank you.
Okay?
Yeah, he deserves that.
He does.
Yeah.
We thank you for keeping his legacy alive through this manuscript as well.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you today, Professor
enjoyed
Wilson.
it.
Okay.
Enjoyed
Very
it very
good.
much.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you.